So back in like early 2000s, 2001, 2002, I was driving limos and VIP town cars, like brand new Lincoln town cars and shit like that, for a company called Desert Nights Limousine Service in Scottsdale, Arizona. Well, the owner was a friend of mine. We were like drinking buddies and party together and shit like that. So he would always like really hook me up, like when like celebrities came into town and like needed a limo, shit like that, or businessmen came into town and just like would just like, hey, where can we get some blow? Where can we get some fucking hookers? He knew I was a dude to go to, right? Anyway, there's so many stories out of being a limo driver and a cab driver, glorified cab driver. But there's one that I thought was worth making. Well, there's a couple, but there's one that I'm going to make a YouTube video about. I got to meet Alice Cooper. Alright, he's a big baseball fan. And this was like right around the time when the Arizona Diamondbacks baseball team, like won the World Series and were like really, taking off. They were a fairly new team. Alice Cooper owns a restaurant called Cooperstown, which is like pretty much walking distance from the baseball park. But, he's Alice fucking Cooper, and he likes to be, catered to, driven around. Well, I was always been a big Alice Cooper fan, right? And so I was like really stoked to meet Alice fucking Cooper. So I, picked him up at Cooperstown, drive him to the baseball park. Sometimes he would invite me to come up with him and, eat a hot dog at the baseball park and watch the game. Of course, I always had to sit behind him, but whatever. Well, I was always the one picking him up, and so we started kind of having a rapport where, he started recognizing me and remember my name and calling me by my name. I was still kind of starstruck though, but remember one of the last times, if not the last time, it was the second to the last time, he was in my limo. He started talking about God, and I had no idea Alice Cooper was a reborn Christian. This was kind of before the internet and shit, so information was like kind of slow to get around. And so, and this is, I'm in my suit and tie and shit, I'm driving Alice Cooper to the baseball park, shooting the shit, and Mr. Cooper's like, so, and I'm going to paraphrase this is a long time ago, not like 10 years ago, I don't really remember exactly what he said, but he's like, so, Zach, have you found your personal relationship with Jesus Christ? I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you know Christ is Lord and he loves you, right? And when he started to do that at first, man, I was just so disappointed because this is like my hero, Alice Cooper. A reborn Christian. It's like, I understand you got off the drugs and put down the bottle, but come on, really? Reborn Christian? He was. I kind of didn't know what to do the first time. I just kind of, I'm not really religious and kind of was just short with him. Thinking that he'd get the hint, like, stop trying to convert me or preach to me. Well, the second time after that I picked him up, started the same shit. Started with his Jesus fucking talk. And I had this divider window I could roll up. And I was like, Mr. Cooper, there's some technical problems. And I just start to roll the window up as he's talking. He'd be talking, so have you found your personal savior, Lord Jesus Christ? And then he'd knock on the window, and then I'd like fuck with the button. Like curl like this. And he'd be like, and I would just started to ignore him because I was like, damn near about to pull over the limo and throw Alice Cooper out of the car. But, I like my job and I like getting paid. And, but yeah, that happened for like 2 days. The first time I convinced him that it was technical error. We were having problems with the limo. And he didn't really believe me. But then the second time I did it to him, he knew that it was, I was just not going to listen to his bullshit. And so he started requesting another driver. And that's okay, because at that point, I didn't want the motherfucker in my limo. I'm not paid enough to listen to somebody preaching to the back of my head as I'm driving you around. No thank you. So that's my experience, Alice Cooper.